Hi there. Welcome to another edition of Chats with Woeboteers. Today we're talking to Tim Campellone. He's our VP of Translational Science, and we're talking about a poster that he's going to present at the Society of Behavioral Medicine Conference. Hey, Tim, it's nice to see you. Can we start by talking about what you do at Woebot Health as a Woeboteer?
I had the privilege of leading our translational science team, and I like to think of translational science as really sitting on the kind of border between clinical and product development. So we get to work and help translate what works well in clinical practice and all of the things in clinical science into product development, but also think about new ways to kind of advance clinical science through what technology can offer. So it's a really fun space to kind of flex creativity and scientific thinking.
So you're part of a large science team at Woebot Health. It sounds like it's a pretty big area of focus.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's truly one of the things that's unique about this company, and one of the reasons I love working here. It's the ability to work with not just a large team, but really a kind of multidisciplinary science team. And it spans epidemiology, biostatistics, clinical science, affective science, just the ability to kind of look at problems from different perspectives and not just kind of jump to a solution, but really thoughtfully dissect and understand how we might do the best research in shaping this so that ultimately when something comes out of kind of this scientific process into product development and into Wobot, it really is kind of shaped and molded by the different ways in which the scientists are kind of viewing the problem, and I think it allows us to do our best work and truly makes for a kind of a unique experience.
Tell us a little bit about that poster. What is the research question that you had?
I think it's near and dear to my heart because it's really the first kind of fruit of our research and development labor, if you will. And so this started with kind of a question of how do we kind of understand where someone is in their journey with Wobot, and how do we make sure they get the most benefit from their engagement with Wobot. And so the question at the core of this was this concept of enactment. And enactment really is the ability to take the things you learn in treatment and apply it in a moment of need kind of spontaneously without that support of traditionally a therapist, but in this case, something like Wobot.
Why is this question so important?
Yeah, and so as a clinical psychologist, I spend a lot of my time in sessions when I work with someone thinking about how I might guide them in learning something new, a better way to manage the problems they're trying to they're struggling with, and often that means kind of using our time together to kind of work through something. But then it's the time between sessions where they go out and apply it, see how well it works, kind of in the crucible of daily life, and when they come back the next week, we'll talk about it. And why I get excited about this for Wobot is really it's the ability for us to kind of use the support and the guidance of Wobot in trying and learning something new, kind of encouraging someone to give it a shot without Wobot, knowing that they can always come and use Wobot if they need it. And then for Wobot conversationally to follow up and ask and see how it went. And the more that we can kind of blend the in app experience with what people do out of app, it just helps us learn more about what's working and how we can use that to better personalize their experience.
What did you find out?
First, we started in the context of a clinical trial, asking people about over the course of using Wobot, how much did they kind of freely take the things they learned and apply it. And from there, we wanted to see, does it look similar kind of in the real world as people are using Wobot outside of a trial context. And what we found is that people's reported level of enactment, that is how much they take the things Wobot teaches them and kind of use it without that Wobot support, looked pretty similar. And why that's exciting is it really suggests that there's something about the way in which Wobot is kind of guiding and supporting people and learning things that seems to resonate and seems to kind of help them in a moment of need access that information. And so we're excited now to be able to really build enactment, not just as a assessment inside of Wobot, but actually how do we drive the behavior of supporting people, taking what Wobot guides them through, those skills they're building, and better be able to apply that in daily life and then come back and share more of those experiences with Woebot.
Was any of that surprising to you as a researcher?
I mean, it's always a surprise whenever you can replicate, something that you get in a clinical trial in the real world. I mean, I think clinical trials are great for kind of removing a lot of the noise and giving you that clear signal. But often and really ultimately, what we want is to be able to say, that's great and it works in a trial, but if it works in the real world where things are, inherently messier, that really tells us that we're moving the needle and have the opportunity to really make the impact that we're really excited about trying to make it.
So that's an interesting answer that you uncovered. I'm wondering, why does this matter to a payer or provider that might be thinking about what kind of app should I really bring into my system?
Yeah, I mean, again, as I kind of put my clinician hat on, I think about as a provider, it's like, yeah, things work well in the context of a trial, but I want to know if I'm talking to my client, my patient, like how are they going to kind of be able to better manage their problems, their challenges related to mental health, and our ability to show that Wobot isn't just something that supports you in the moment within the app, but rather can drive real world behavior change. Really is an opportunity that I think, certainly for speak for myself as a clinician, I get excited about, but I imagine other clinicians would be interested in because it is that ability to know where is someone in their journey with Wobot? Are they advancing in their ability to manage these experiences on their own? And I think the more that we're able to do this, it does show kind of a progression in that therapeutic journey with Wobot.
So you're saying an ability to understand how people are learning and maybe master a skill in their own lives can help health systems maybe understand, and even developers like Woebot Health understand kind of what works for people in the real world, and and how it might be applied in a broader system. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it really is the opportunity for us to kind of start to go deeper in terms of how does Wobot show up and support every individual in a unique way by understanding kind of where they are and what their unique needs are in their journey and time with Wobot. And so it's really exciting to think about a future state where we are kind of even more than we are today able to support and tailor people's experiences based on kind of what they need and where they're at in that journey.
So your poster has been presented at SBM. Tell me a little bit about what you're presenting.
It really does illustrate what I think is something really unique about Woebot Health, which is our internal research and development team and the collaboration of scientists that are able to do work like a kind of more complex engagement clusters analysis to find this enactment factor, and then have the same kind of internal research and development team take that, figure out how we might build a feature around that, and then work to get that into the Woebot Health product. And so I'm really excited about kind of what this represents because it is, I think, the first of what I hope is many opportunities for us to demonstrate how we really apply science towards product development.
So it sounds like your goal is to obviously learn more in the real world, learn more about people's real world experience, but also contribute to product understanding and product development. What do you hope this enactment work does in the future, either for products or for the world at large?
Yeah, I mean, I this born of my experience of kind of working in this industry. Like, I get really excited about this for its ability to kind of answer the question of like, where is someone in their journey with a digital mental health intervention? In this case, with Wobot, I think the ability for us to have those kind of individual level signals just enables so much greater personalization and just thoughtfulness of how we can meet the moment and help support people. So I'm excited for this, specifically for what we're able to do with this within Wobot. But I'm hoping this knowledge really helps kind of the industry really rally behind how we can do more of this collectively to really benefit and get people to get the most out of their treatment.
Tim, thanks for your time. It's been great chatting with you about science at Woebot Health, and we'll look forward to talking to you again sometime soon.
Yeah, happy to be here, and it was great chatting.